Mr. Lonetti, just a few more questions. Can you please turn to Exhibit P in your black binder there in front of you? I know that the first few pages deal with some work that you hired, at least I believe your testimony is that work that you hired Mr. Benish to do for you in 2009. I want to skip ahead to what was going on in 2011. If you look on the bottom right of Exhibit P, you'll see a 093.
Okay.
Mr. Lonetti, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is this document?
It's a document I can start all the way back to the beginning and go through this with you.
Well, I'm more interested in what occurred in 2011. So,
this started in 2008, and if I could go through it, I can explain everything right here, right?
Well, let me just do this, Mr. Lonetti. He has a right to reference whatever he wants to reference in questioning, so I'm going to allow it to happen that way. If he wants to, if Mr. Bingham wants to look just at these billing records from April of 2011, I'm going to let him do it. And if your counsel wants to reference other parts of it, they
Okay.
can. Okay?
All right.
So, Mr. Lonetti, do you recognize the document 093 as a billing from George Benish's office to you?
I do.
Did you pay for these services?
I did.
The entry on April 11, 2011 is talking about permit 3085. Do you understand that that was one of the permits that was involved in the 2008 transaction, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If you go to turn a few pages over, there's a number at the bottom right, 096. And would you say the same thing, this is a billing from George Benish's law office to you?
Yes,
Did you pay for these legal services?
I did.
It references permit number 54383. That's the other permit that was involved in the 2008 transaction, correct?
Yes.
Turning to the next document, which is in the bottom right, 098. Are you there?
I'm here.
You recognize this as well as a document from George Benish's office?
Yes.
And it was for work that George Benish was doing on your behalf?
Yes.
In connection with yours or Dominic Gentile's retention of George Benish related to the liability from the civil and criminal actions, correct?
No.
It references, if you look at the entry on June 16th, 2011, it says telephone conference with B. Bingham regarding civil complaint, VVWD v. Michael Johnson. There's also some other entries, for example, on June 20th, 2011, prepare for the 6/21/11 meeting with Dominic Gentile. Aren't these billing entries dealing with both the civil and criminal action?
Yes, but I don't know what those were. I don't know what those were about.
Do you believe that Mr. Benish's billing statements were accurate?
I'm sure they were.
And you paid all of them, correct?
Yes, I'm sure I did.
Did you pay Mr. Benish directly, or did you pay Gordon Silver and Gordon Silver paid Mr. Benish?
I think it probably came out of there's a fund that I had with Gordon Silver that was separate from billing me. I think it might have come out of that, but I'm not sure.
Did you send payment directly to George Benish that you can recall for the work that was being done, like in May, June 2011?
I don't think so.
So it's your understanding that that was being paid by Gordon Silver, correct?
Yes.
Out of funds that you had given to them?
Well, I'm not sure if it came out. I don't know where it came from, but I did have a fund.
Okay. Judge, that's all the questions I have at this time.
All right. Now, Mr. Zarnowski, you can ask questions? Before you do, I just was thinking about this speaking objection issue where apparently Mr. Gentile stipulated that it's a problem. There's no jury, and I want to hear what people have to say about the basis of their objections. So that's a stylistic thing for me. I like it when, and I would hope lawyers would like it too, frankly, that I would want to hear everything you have to say in regard to an objection that you make. That's what I like to do. So it's almost as well I like to tell you all, there's no such thing in my mind, with no jury sitting over here, that of a speaking objection. It's an objection with an editorial comment based upon fact or law that a lawyer wants to make to me in a no jury sort of a hearing. My style is to hear it. I would hope you'd appreciate that.
I do appreciate that, Judge. I apologize if I wasn't clear on that. I have no concern whatsoever with you hearing the objection. I think that's absolutely proper. My concern was the witness hearing all of the objections. And
well, that's a good point, and the fact of it is, if we do get into the explanation behind an objection that anybody thinks somehow would potentially influence the testimony of somebody in here, then that's another separate and distinct request that anybody could make. And as you know, if any of the lawyers say, look, I want to talk about something outside the presence of a witness, I'm always going to just ask the witness to walk over there and we'll talk outside the presence, okay?
That, Judge, I apologize. That was our concern. It was solely that.
No, I think it's a good concern. There's nothing to apologize about. I just wanted to make sure people knew that it's different when there's no jury. I mean, yeah, with a jury, you don't want to have objections where lawyers take a few minutes to explain them every time. Those are speaking objections that we try to tend to stay away from. I mean, the way to do it in front of a jury is you make an objection and you give a short legal basis, hearsay, not relevant, whatever it would be. And then if something further is required in front of a jury, then you just come up here and have a sidebar and we talk about it and develop it, or I excuse the jury. But with no jury, I mean, the fact of it is, I do appreciate a detailed explanation as to why objections are being made, with the caveat again that if anybody thinks it could affect the testimony of a witness, then we'll just ask the witness to step out while we go through it. But probably to my detriment in a lot of ways. I like people to come into court and know that they can tell me whatever they want to tell me and take as much time as they need. Maybe to my detriment. Figure that out every time my name's on the ballot. But that's the way we do it here. Okay? Okay, Mr. Zarnowski.